Coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
It's Friday morning, so you know what that means. It's time for Friday Live. Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Albert Sharp, bringing you the inside scoop on today's latest news. In our first story of the day, a suspect has been arrested following the fire at Winology's Tecumseh location Monday morning. The OPP have identified the suspect as 30-year-old Joseph Hanlon from Essex. Hanlon is facing charges for arson with disregard for human life and damage to property, breaking and entering with the intent to commit an indictable offense, and possession of break-in instruments. He is currently in police custody, awaiting a bail hearing later today. And I know it's a Friday morning, but Friday nights are great for movies. Tyler Clapp has the story.
A little bit of Hollywood can be made in Windsor. With a film festival every November and numerous local filmmakers, Windsor may have a chance to create a thriving movie industry. David DeRose is a part-time film producer who helps to explain this hidden business. Where do you think Windsor's film industry is at currently?
The industry is only really good here if you yourself are the full-on content creator where you can go out, shoot yourself, edit yourself, do all of that, and produce a video.
Right.
Whereas in other markets, they need all the people with the specific talents. In a film, you have over 1,000 credits, right? It's because everyone is good at doing a very specific thing, and it's a part of a really big function.
Right.
So Windsor's industry is good on that part.
Right. So what do you believe Windsor can do to develop the film industry here?
If you could get enough signatures and go to the mayor's office or one of the municipal buildings and get a film office prepared. So a film office, essentially a center where this would attract people to come to Windsor for filmmaking. You'd have to set up a lot of resources, of course. In the GTA area, there's a lot of sites that are available to say all right, I can put up my location that either is a house or commercial or industrial location or whatever, a park even, and I want people that are filmmakers to use it, so it's I could actually put that up on a site where it's here you have to contact whoever owns it.
How have you seen the industry change over time?
What I've seen from afar is drastic change. We so much American productions are coming into Canada. We have a 30% tax credit, which is really awesome because it allows American productions to come in here, but they must hire all Canadian crew.
All in all, Windsor's film world faces a long road to thriving over surviving. For MediaPlex News, I'm Tyler Clapp.
All aboard! Individuals across Essex gathered over the weekend to celebrate their shared love of model trains. The 25th annual Essex Train Show was held at Essex Public School last week. Over 600 attendees had the chance to stop by and browse the vendors. 25 years ago, the event was only a handful of vendors at the Essex train station. But since then, the event has kept on chugging and doesn't show any signs of stopping soon. Now that's pretty great, but Zach, I understand we have some great weather coming up.
Hello, fellow co-hosts and listeners. It's been a mild week, more like a mild winter, but things are changing. Currently, we are sitting at 3 with some light rain. I do want to briefly mention the tornadoes in the Metro Nashville area, where over 20 people lost their lives. This just shows no metropolitan city is immune to violent tornadoes. Given the time of year, we are heading toward that time in the spring where we are going to have to face tornadoes and severe weather. But no weather like that in the next 3 days. In the next 3 days, Saturday will be sunny with a high of 5, Sunday sunny and a high of 14, Monday a 40% chance of showers and a high of 15. Stay tuned for your favorite segment, Weird News, where I discuss the topics of stripper cop, Florida man, Ape Edition, and Corona meth. It's all coming your way at the bottom of the show, Albert.
I'm always scared for your Florida man stuff, but I'm excited for that weather.
A high of 15. Say it again.
Beautiful.
Let's go,
this
baby.
Is what
A high
I
of
asked
15.
For. But great weather aside, Christian, I understand the Saints have some great stuff coming up in the sports world.
Yes, sir. What's pop-a-loppin', ladies and gentlemen? Let's tee up and swing right into the sports. We need everyone tonight to come out and support our Saints women's basketball team as we host the 2020 OCAA Women's Basketball Championship. The first game is tonight at 6 p.m. against the George Brown Huskies. Make sure you all come out and have a good time. Let's go Saints. Former NHL enforcer Matthew Barnaby has been arrested for allegedly choking a bouncer. This all occurred yesterday morning in Nashville, according to multiple results. He has been charged with assault and public intoxication. During his arrest, police stated that they smelled a strong odor of alcohol in his breath, as well as watery eyes and a slurred speech. The release bond is $6,000. Way to go, bro. Like, why can't these NHL people or sports people or whatever, if you're retired, just live your life happily. Just chill. Don't be going out choking bouncers. Just like, you know what I mean? Like,
not even just them. People don't
in
go
general,
out and choke bouncers.
Yeah, why are people still fighting? We're 2020, man. Peace, love, happiness. On to some lighter sports news. Stephen Curry is still planning on competing in the Olympics as he rejoins the Warriors. Now that 4 months have passed from breaking his hand, Curry is back, ready to attack. And he is already thinking ahead. When asked about the Olympics from a reporter, he said that he is still planning on playing for Team USA this summer. And for now, it's your boy, Christian Standard, and that's what's popping in the sports world.
It's Friday, and today we're talking Hollywood, history, and more this Friday Live. But first, like always, we have our friends at Crime Stoppers for the Crime of the Week. Welcome back, Tim.
Thank you, Albert.
What do we have this week?
Well, this week, Windsor Police is seeking the assistance from the public in identifying a suspect wanted for a break, enter, and theft. On Thursday, February 13th last month there, Windsor police officers responded to a break-in in the 800 block of Campbell Avenue. During the daytime hours, the suspect entered the residence, proceeded to steal a quantity of electronics, and then fled the scene on foot. The suspect is described as a white male with a medium build, wearing a black jacket, black pants, and a black toque. He was also wearing orange Asics running shoes with white trim. A photo of the suspect obtained by video surveillance is available online at catchcrooks.com. Anyone with information is asked to contact Windsor Police at 519-255-6700, extension 4350, or you can report it anonymously at Crime Stoppers, 519-258-TIPS, or online at catchcrooks.com.
You know, it's just terrible when somebody steals electronics. I know if somebody took my laptop, I'm over. I do way too much work on that thing for it to go missing.
Absolutely. There are victims in this, and far too often it's students with their electronics, which they depend on very much.
Well, thank you for coming. Always great having you.
Thank you, Albert.
I feel like it would be so much more productive if instead of doing crime, you just started a small business or something. Which actually, I got to talk to Paul Kimmerly about. Whether the job is big or small, this local business does it all. After 50 years of business, Paul Kimmerly, co-owner and operator of Standard Printing, said he is happy being a small business owner. So, Paul, you run a small shop. Do you ever wish it was a larger operation?
I don't want to be any bigger. I've been there. At one time we had 15 employees running around between the different shops we had. And now you don't need 15 employees.
However, that doesn't eliminate the convenience of in-house printing.
We have here a state-of-the-art facility where my wife can walk over to her computer and send a job to Toronto, and it's run on a $5 million machine, and it's back here within 72 hours.
Are you capable of running smaller, short-notice jobs?
Somebody comes in and they say, we want a booklet or a calendar in color, and my wife can walk over to the computer, push a button, and the machine over here does it.
This goes to show that bigger does not always mean better. For MediaPlex News, I'm Albert Sharp. And while we're staying local, Pranav Patel talked to Rashini Panaya Gulin about what it's like to work with the Downtown Mission in this edition of 3 Minutes With.
Hello, I'm Pranav Patel. Today we are spending 3 minutes with Rukshini Panya Gulin, the Director of Development with the Downtown Mission of Windsor. What's the best part about the working at Mission?
I love working at the Mission because we help everyone that comes to the location or reaches out to us for support. It's one place that people don't have to feel they need to belong in any particular way. Doesn't matter what age they are, what religion, what race. We help anyone that comes to us. We do the best we can to support them with whatever they need and to help them move forward in their life.
What challenges you have faced in your position?
So the challenges kind of go along with what I just said about the best part about working at the Mission, that we help so many people. The challenge is to try to keep up with that need of people coming to us. We are seeing more and more people coming to us for support, and more people with more complex issues and challenges in their lives, that we're doing the best we can to try to keep up with that, to provide the support they need.
When did you join the Downtown Mission of Windsor?
Myself, I started working with the Mission about 4 years ago. I'm actually going into my 5th year now, and yeah, it's definitely changed a lot in the last 4 or 5 years. I've seen the growth and the outreach that we're doing is much more than it was when I first joined, and the people coming to us, greater numbers and greater complex issues, like I said.
What is the goal of a Windsor Downtown Mission?
The goal, well, my boss always says it would be great one day if we can work ourselves out of a job, in which case nobody is homeless, nobody is experiencing homelessness or living in poverty. That would be wonderful. We're trying to do what we can to help the people that are living in poverty, to give them a good life wherever they are in society, and to help them with whatever little ways that we can.
Perfect. Why is the Downtown Mission so vital?
So vital? I believe it's vital because it's the one place, or it's one of the places that people feel safe, people feel connected, they feel supported. We do advocate for people as well, so some people who maybe feel they don't have a voice in society or don't feel comfortable speaking about what they're going through, our staff or volunteers, we do the best we can to speak for them if need be.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Pranav Patel, and we have just spent 3 minutes with the Director of Development, Rakshini Panya-Golin. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next, let's ski-daddle out of Windsor and straight into Hollywood with VTalk.
This is VTalk. I'm Vanna Mills, bringing you the hottest from Hollywood. Some feathers have been seriously ruffled over Drake's company OVO after a company called Bellroy allegedly stole OVO's logo, which was a spitting image of OVO's famous owl. Drake gave a hoot as he lawyered up, and TMZ sources reported the news Thursday afternoon. Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott appear to be back together, as Kylie posted a bunch of pics from the Houston Rockets Western Conference quarterfinals back in 2017. It's when she was pregnant with Stormy. Kylie and Trav certainly look coupley. She captioned the photos, "It's a mood." Santa Lathan showed off her gorgeous natural hair in new photos posted on her social media this week. This new hair debuted 2 years after shaving her head bald for her part in Napoli Ever After. That's all for this week on VTalk. Enjoy your March break, everybody.
New hair, don't care.
New hair, don't care.
I know if you're living that Hollywood life, you're probably making it rain. And that's Zach's cue to come back with the weather in his Weather History podcast.
I'm Zachary Balog, and today on A Look into Weather History, the March 2012 North American Heat Wave. March break? How about March bake? Beginning the 14th and lasting all the way to the 22nd of March 2012, North America saw summer-like weather conditions encompass the eastern U.S. and Canada, where highs ranged from the 60s to the 80s. The warmth started out in the western U.S. and then it spread east. There were over 7,000 record highs broken, according to NOAA's National Climate Data Center. In Michigan, Grand Rapids broke a record at 87. That was the highest temperature ever recorded for that city on that date. What led to this event, you wonder? Well, the position of the jet stream, the dividing line between cold air to the north, warm air to the south, went north and got stuck, allowing warmer air from the Gulf of Mexico to go north. This event also led to the tornado in Dexter, Michigan on March 15, 2012, destroying properties and lives. Other tornadoes were reported in the area as a result of the warmth. This was considered an open gate for the summer of 2012. More on that coming soon. This has been A Look into Weather History. I'm Zachary Balog.
And if you're ever stuck in a heat wave, maybe you can cool down late night at the Bistro with Felicia Guyot.
Hi, I'm Felicia. Welcome to the Late Night Bistro. I know a lot of people like that. When they go out with people they know, they're relaxed and even crazy. When there are strangers they have never met, they immediately become introverted and deep. This is what we call fear of strangers. When I was a kid, treat everything in this world are still at the stage of an observation and cognition. Therefore, I always lived cautiously and didn't dare to take the initiative to explore the world. So, in the eyes of others, I was timid, fragile, and quiet. But being naturally sensitive made me a very empathic person. So, when my knowledge of the world and human beings gradually accumulated enough to produce something called experience, I split into completely different personality. I began to enjoy making friends and communicating with others, especially strangers. If you've ever tried, you'll find that socializing with strangers is the easiest and most enjoyable thing to do. I know a lot of people are afraid to communicate with strangers because of the fear of embarrassment and everything is unknown. But because of the unknown, it is more valuable to explore. If you always get to know someone by comments and introduction of others, not by your own feelings, then this kind of social interaction is meaningless and unfair. Interpersonal communication is always based on fairness and mutual respect, whether it is love, friendship, or family affection. In fact, from another perspective, a stranger is like a blank picture. As long as you paint with your heart, it will become a very good work. So, how do you communicate with strangers? Actually very simple. Sincere, not arrogant. Appropriate to show yourself is enough. When people find you attractive, they will come to you. Keep in mind that you are not pleased. So, don't ask too many questions. When the other person is tired to answering you, your position shifts from active to passive. So be genuine and let the other person know you first, rather than rushing to find out who they are. There is another kind of stranger, which has great attraction to me. It's a real stranger that you meet online and may never meet in real life, because you never know who each other is. There's no bad intent or interest involved in your communication. Just a simple chat, but can be anything. And then, to a stranger without any burden to show the most real soul. So, even if you face more hardships in real life, there is a place, there is a person, listen to you, give you a breathing space. Then, you can fall asleep on a night when you should be losing sleep. Hello, stranger. Good night, beautiful and pure soul. Thanks for listening. I'm Felicia, and see you next time.
But to pick things back up, you can never expect what's happening in the mind of Tristan Zuderveen.
Welcome to Impulse, the show with no description because the topics are whatever comes to mind. I'm Tristan Zuderveen. Every little girl has a favorite doll. I know I still have some toys from my childhood. But after this, I may lock them away forever. Today we're going beyond Barbie, much further than Chucky and Annabelle. Today we're discussing a Japanese ritual known as Hitori Kakurenbo, or one-man hide-and-seek. And unfortunately, you are not the one seeking. To summarize the ritual, and remember, this is not every step. You take a stuffed doll, uncooked rice, a needle, some crimson thread, a sharp knife, a cup of salt water, a hiding spot, and some form of your own DNA such as hair, and make a monumentally horrible decision.
Oh my god.
You cut open a stuffed doll, replace the stuffing with uncooked rice, which is said to attract spirits, and then sew it shut and wrap it in crimson thread to represent blood, binding a spirit inside. From there, it's up to you to stay hidden while a sentient doll with a sharp knife hunts you down.
Why?
The instructions warn against using someone else's hair, stopping the ritual halfway through, leaving the house, looking behind you when hiding, and playing with other people in the house. The warnings attached to this game are severe, stating, "This is a very dangerous ritual. If you make a mistake, you could wind up stabbed to death or possessed by an evil spirit." To further enforce this notion, it's important to mention that in Japanese, the word for it in hide and seek is oni, which literally means demon. Still want to keep that childhood Cabbage Patch Kid? By the way, without the filter, you don't appreciate the power that doors have until you're locked out of your own house.
Been there.
Man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anymore. This is something that I'd probably do on my spare time.
No. You would.
No.
He would.
Don't do it. Don't.
He shouldn't, but he probably would.
But it is the bottom of the show, so of course, like always, we save the best and weirdest for last.
Hey viewers, or hey listeners who ended up staying to the end of the show. Boy, do I have a treat for you. Time for some weird news. This story out of New Hampshire, where a police chief was stripped, literally, of his duties. The Huffington Post reports Richard Lee, who was the police chief in a small town for 20 years, was told his position would be eliminated. Lee was asked to turn in his uniform immediately. According to Lee, he gave them the uniform, his turtleneck, and pants, and just walked out in his underwear.
Oh my.
Stripping cop. Maybe for his next job, he can work as a stripper, for those bachelorette parties.
He was good at following orders. He was told immediately. He handed it over immediately.
That's a boss.
He did what they asked.
Move, man. That guy knows his skin. That guy knows his skin.
Yeah, especially and he was even picked up by his wife. I'm sure she's proud.
She's probably like,
that's my boy.
That's my boy. You go, Blue.
Or she was shaking her head very much and questioning how she got there.
It's time to go to no man's land, otherwise known as Florida. Let's hear it.
Florida man, does whatever a Florida man can. Look out, here comes the Florida man.
On today's edition of Florida Man, we dive into the world of Florida ape. That's right, hundreds of apes in the Sunshine State are carrying herpes. According to the Washington Post, there are at least 400 monkeys carrying the disease. Humans are also at risk for infection, but only if you've been bitten, scratched, or spit on. So don't get into contact with the apes because their herpes spread faster than the coronavirus.
Just what we needed.
Oh my.
Herpes carrying apes.
This brand new
Apes
Planet of the
carrying
Apes.
herpes. 2020 is going
Please
down in
don't.
flames.
All right, sticking with the Florida theme here. Are you worried about coronavirus in your drugs? Seriously, drugs.
Should we be?
And you're worried about coronavirus?
Yes.
A Florida police station in Atlantic Beach wants to check your new batch of drugs and test it for the infamous coronavirus. According to WFLA-TV, the police department posted on their Facebook page that if you have recently bought illegal drugs, to bring them in and get them tested. Sounds like a scam.
That's very accurate.
I want to
Zach, it's very
know
accurate.
who's actually going to do that. I'm going to take
Definitely.
the stuff that I shouldn't have and give it to the police to check.
I feel like these addicts, they won't care anyway. They'll be like, coronavirus, man. Will I get high from it? I'm going to try it out. Sounds like something I might get high from.
Sounds dope.
Sounds dope, man.
I don't even know what to say here.
All good, man.
But no, seriously, it's like, can I have my friend's meth back, please?
Nah, bro. Everybody's going to go in with their drugs, and then they're all going to get arrested, and they're going to be sad because now they don't got drugs.
Well, anyway, that's the weirdness for this Friday. You can't make this stuff up. Also, tune in to MediaPlex News now on Tuesday for the latest weird news.
And that's our show for today. Friday Lives is student-run production through St. Clair College, and we've had contributions from our producer, Brett Blake, Tyler Clapp, Zachary Ballog, Christian Stannard, our friends at Crime Stoppers, Pranav Patel, Savannah Mills, Felicia Guyot, Tristan Zuderveen, and I'm your host, Albert Sharp. Have a good weekend, everybody.